that you guys came up with? Justice.
Rosemary, thyme, chives, mint, parsley, basil, and oregano.
Rosemary, thyme, chives, basil, oregano, mint. Anybody else? Yes. What? Cumin. What else? Huh?
Cinnamon.
Okay, cinnamon, but I'm looking for fresh. Okay, cinnamon, we'll give you cinnamon. What else? Anything else? Cilantro? Lavender?
Cinnamon.
He said cinnamon. Lemongrass. Okay, have you ever seen lemongrass grow? It looks like grass stalks. They come out of the ground, they're very tall. You actually have to peel the exterior of it in order to get to the inside, which has that lemongrass flavor. Lavender, it looks like a bunch of flowers. They are flowers growing out in the fields. They're purple. Okay, so if you use lavender soap, lavender body wash, lavender this, that, whatever, okay, you can use it in food as well. I've seen someone make lavender ice cream before.
Ew.
Actually, it wasn't very, not as bad as you think. Not as bad as you think. All right, how do fresh herbs differ from dried herbs? No.
One is crunchy.
One is crunchy? No. Which one tastes better?
Fresh.
Huh?
Fresh.
Dry.
Dried herbs have a more powerful, pungent flavor than fresh herbs. When you dry something out and then you crush it up and you use it to flavor something, it has a stronger, more pungent flavor than a fresh herb. Now, the problem is sometimes people don't, if they want to see the herb, it's hard to see it if it's dried. It's easier to see it if it's fresh. Okay? Has anybody ever used any herbs to add to their recipes at home or when you were making a dish? Which ones did you use?
We put cumin and oregano on that pizza we made.
Okay, cumin and oregano, good on pizza.
I've used everything I've listed. I've used.
Okay.
Just different dishes.
Does anybody have an herb garden at home where you grow some fresh herbs outside? Okay. You? Ruth, you got it? Cilantro? Aloe?
Sweet potato.
Okay, you got it going on. Okay, aloe vera is a very good one too. It's a great plant. The aloe vera plant, right? It's good because it has oils that you can put on your skin to help you heal. People drink aloe juice. You see it in the store. When you press the plant down, the water that comes out extracted. All right, all you got to do is it's kind of spiky on the outside, so you got to peel that part off. Yes, Ruth. Lee, sorry.
Are we watching that thing today?
That thing today.
Like it?
I don't know what the thing is.
The movie?
No, we're doing the knives stuff. How'd you guys write down?
When we finish going after this, can I run to a class?
Yeah. All right, so make sure you have this written down, and I will check your bell ringers towards the end of class, and this would make it 4 for today, for this week. Right? 4? How's it 3? I didn't give you on Tuesday? No, okay. 3 it is? Yeah, give me that. Okay. I believe last week, Monday, I was not here, and therefore I had you write down different cuts of knives and how to use a knife. Okay, we talked about parts of a knife, right? You guys remember that diagram I gave you to label? All right? And we've talked about knife safety, but there are some other things that go along with using a knife. First one is you always need to use your dominant hand to hold the knife. If you're right-handed, hold it in your right hand. If you're left-handed, hold it in your left hand. Do not use 2 hands to hold the knife. That's really weird. Okay? Yeah. Whichever hand you are dominant in, the other hand should have what on it?
Glove.
Cut glove. If you're right-handed, you hold the knife in your right hand. Your left hand, you hold it in you put the cut glove on. Okay? There's 2 basic knife grips. There's a handle grip, and there's a blade grip. On a knife, okay, the handle grip meaning you're going to only hold the handle. Only the handle part. I personally do not like this because I don't feel that I have enough control over this. Okay? I personally like doing the handle grip where you take your thumb and your index finger on one side of the blade, thumb on the other side of the blade, and my other 3 fingers I wrap around and I choke up on the knife. So about this much is hanging out, but the rest of my hand is on the knife. This way I feel like I have way more control over the knife, and the knife's not gonna get away from me. Remember, you control the knife. This has no mind, it has no machine, it has nothing to make it work other than the person holding it, correct? Okay? You are in control of what you do with this. And that is why we need to be safe and handle it correctly, okay? I see a lot of students, they like to put their index finger like this on the top of the knife. It's not bad. It's just not one of the knife grips that we use. It's hard, I know, for a lot of you when we start working with the knives. I'll go around and I'll make you, hey, take your finger off the top. And it's just comfort and, you know, something you've done for a long time, so you're familiar doing it that way, but we don't like to see the index finger on the top of the blade pushing down like this. We want to see your index finger move to the side, so it's on the side of the blade, your thumb's on the other side, and you're gripping like this. And then when you use a knife, it's a rocking motion, okay? And I'll demonstrate that and show that to you on another day, okay? The knife should never come off the board. See people, you know, they're chopping away, they're like doing like this, I don't know what's going on there. The knife always stays on the board, that way it's safer and you can't hurt yourself. Okay, you shouldn't be flinging it in the air or throwing it around or lifting it up. Okay, your hand that has your cut glove on it, which would be this one, okay, the left hand, your non-dominant hand, or your right hand if you're left-handed. That is your guiding hand. That is your guiding hand. That is the hand and the fingers that you will keep at the end of this exercise because you need to come to school and leave school with the same amount. This hand does not hold the knife, it just helps the knife from slipping. It also controls the size of the cut. Most chefs, most instructors, most teachers, we call it making a claw. Okay? We make a claw. And this is also a way to keep your fingers out of the way when you're cutting. Because the hand that's holding the knife, you're not going to be able to cut those fingers, right? You're holding the knife. It's the other hand with the cut glove, those 5 fingers, could potentially injure. So make a claw grip like you can see the gentleman or lady is doing here. Okay? Put your 4 fingers on the top and tuck your thumb in the back so you cannot see it. Don't leave your thumb hanging out. I see some students last year when they were cutting, my ones who are now 2s, and my 2s who are now 3s, they would leave their thumb hanging out. That's dangerous because if the knife slips, there goes, I mean, you know, your thumb's hanging out there, you can imagine what could happen. Okay, I asked you to write down last week Monday 11 types of knife cuts. Take your time when you're using a knife. There's no rush right now. When you get into a restaurant and you're in a hurry and you've been cutting for 3, 4, 5 years and you have it down and you're more familiar and comfortable, then you can go faster. And even people who have this down, like myself, who's been doing this for 17 years, every now and then you're just doing something. I mean, it's been a while since I've cut myself, but it does tend to happen, okay? Make sure you're using a cutting board. You need to have a cutting board. Don't cut on the stainless steel table. Don't cut on the counter. Don't cut on your couch. I don't know, whatever else you can come up with. Cutting board, made to cut on, okay? And then the knife blade, make sure it stays perpendicular to the cutting board. So, that being said, let's talk about cutting boards. What do we use for a green cutting board? Vegetables and fruit. And what do we use for a red cutting board? Red meat. Be careful when you say meat because you could get confused. Red meat, red cutting board. How about yellow? Poultry. Chicken, duck, Cornish hens, turkey, anything poultry related, a bird, Okay? Cornish hen's like a little baby chicken. Sometimes they serve them. You can eat like a whole bird for one person because they're so little. White. What do we use a white cutting board for? Huh?
Bread and stuff.
Bread or cheese. How about blue?
What?
Oh yeah, we got colors for days.
I only do red.
Now I only have in the classroom red, yellow,
Is it fish?
green, and white. What?
Is it fish?
Yes, fish and seafood, very good. If you think about it, fish and seafood comes out of the ocean. The ocean is blue, it's a blue cutting board. Red meat, red cutting board. Fruits and vegetables are usually green, mostly. Some of them are not, but a lot of them are. And then you can figure out poultry, just that's kind of something you got to remember. Now there is one more color cutting board I don't have in here.
Purple.
It is purple. And you'll very rarely see it. But if you see a purple cutting board, it is an allergy cutting board. It's an allergy cutting board, and allergy cutting board basically just being used in a restaurant. But I've worked in a lot of restaurants, and I've only seen it one time my whole entire career. The other 5, very common. So when we start doing knife cuts, please make sure you're using the correct cutting board. Okay, red or green or yellow or white. Okay, I'll work on getting blue, but we don't do a lot of shellfish or any kind of shellfish or fish in here, so there's not really a need for having that. And we don't have an allergy cutting board. All right? Everybody have it? All right, so the first one was a large dice. This is what you're gonna do. I'm gonna give you some carrots or some potatoes, and you're gonna get to mess around with them and work on this type of cut. A large dice is 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch, and I actually have these tools. I'll pass them around. They're actually really cool, and they're actually very helpful. I'll pass that around. I'll pass that around. On these tools, it actually has different squares, different types of shapes, different things, and it has a ruler on it, and it has measurements, so you can use it in the kitchen to make sure that your knife cuts are correct. A medium dice is just a smaller version of a large dice. It's a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch. But how do you get the carrot? Does the carrot come square?
Chop it down.
No. You can peel the carrot and you can trim off the ends so that you get a square shape at the end. Otherwise, you're not getting that square cut out of a carrot without, and I'll show you how to do that, lining it up. Okay? All right, a small dice, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch. So basically we're going from a large to a medium to a small. Same thing, you're just downgrading the size. And then this fun one that we like to use, the French term called brunoise. Brunoise. Brunoise is 1/8 of an 1/8 of an 1/8. And I'm talking, it's like almost to the point where you need a microscope to see what you're doing. Very, very small, fine dice, squares. And I'll show you how to do that one too. Okay? But I'll show you, when I show you how to do it, it's very easy actually to get to these cuts if you square up the carrot. And then you can go from there. Okay? Okay, the next one is bâtonnet. Ah, we love the French, don't we? Let's see if we can. Okay, up top here, it's called bâtonnet. Okay? Bâtonnet cut is a 1/4 inch, 1/4 inch by 2 inches. So, what cut did I just tell you is a 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch? Which dice? Small dice? So how do you think you get a small dice cut? You get it from that one. You take your carrot and you start making bâtonnet cuts. Once you do that, and you have them in strips, you line them all up together, and that's where you can get your small dice cut from. Julienne is 1/8 of an eighth by 2 inches. Which dice do you get out of that cut?
Brunoise.
Very good, Brunoise. We love the French. Okay, Brunoise. They're very heavily influenced in our everything. Okay, so again, square up the carrot or the potato, get it into these strips, if you want to call them that. Make sure those get passed around so everybody can see them if they didn't get to see them. Okay, and from here you can make your dice cuts. Everybody saw these knife cut things? They're really convenient actually. I use them with the culinary team and we use them in competitions because you can put this on your cutting board and then when you make your cut, and did everybody see how small Brunoise is?
Yeah.
It's like microscopic. Okay, it's a little tiny square on the top, all the way on top. Okay, but you can have this and then you can make sure you're measuring correctly. When I worked with P.F. Chang's in Payway, they gave us one of these because we had to have all the square peppers all squared correctly, whatever they wanted. All right, next one is rondelle. Basically, it's like a coin. You ever heard of coin carrots?
Yeah.
You're looking for a 1/4 inch thick slice. Basically, a little bit thicker than a quarter. Okay, think about a quarter. You're going for a little thicker than that. Diagonal cut. Now this one, you can see the carrot's not square, right? You just take the carrot, peel it, and go to town. Okay? Turn the knife on an angle, turn the carrot on an angle, and start making your diagonal cuts. The next one, façon. French terms, we love them. This is a square cut, but it's more of a rectangle than a square. So it's not a dice, and therefore it's going 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch by 1/8 of an inch. So when you do this exercise and you do this lab, I want to see, and I'll give you guys rulers because I have plenty of them, and I'll give you these knife templates. I want to see that you're getting pretty close to that. Okay, pretty close to that. All right. Now, you know, at the end of the day, if you work for a big corporation or a big hotel chain, a lot of places they have machines, and a machine's a lot more accurate than your hand is. Okay, so the machine's going to be able to get this cut every single time, faster, more efficiently. Package it, seal it, send it to the restaurant. Open it up, you guys use it in the restaurant. Okay? Having an employee sit there and cut diagonal cuts of carrots all day long is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money, labor-wise, right? When I can just order diagonal cuts from the store and they come on the truck and I have them covered. But you should still know how to do that. You should still know how to do that. Okay? These two are probably the easiest ones you can cut. Okay, the next one ties with your bell ringer, and that is chiffonade. Chiffonade is when you take vegetables and you stack them up, you roll them up, and then you julienne cut or cut them into long strips. So for instance, if you had basil leaves, you would take your basil leaves and you would stack them on top of each other. Okay? Then you would roll those up, so now you have something that looks like a finely rolled cigar or something. Okay? And then you take your knife and you make strips. And then when it's done being cut, this part right here, you take your fingers and you can just break it all apart. Okay? Next one is probably the most pain in the butt cut you could ever do, and that's called tournée. Tournée is a football-shaped vegetable. Now, it's very classical. A lot of people in old French cuisine like this type of cut because it looks kind of cool. I'll be honest with you, I have not done a tournée vegetable in 10 years. Okay, a lot of places don't do them anymore. It's kind of an old world style cut, but it is 3/4 inch diameter, 2 inches long, 7 equal sides, and it's flat ended. And it is a pain in the butt to get there. They actually have a special knife. Remember we talked about it, a tournée knife? It had a little bird's beak at the top. It was curved, right? That is the knife you use to get it there. Okay? You have to sit there and practice for a long time to get 7 sides, because you get to 6, but you need to put a 7th side on it. So while you have 6, and then you go to make the 7th, now you just screwed something up, and you're sitting there trying to whittle it down. Okay. So you got Chiffonade and you got Tornado. I won't make you do this cut unless you're absolutely serious. You can stay after school and I'll show you how to do it. And then go home and buy a bag of carrots and crackers. The Chiffonade I'll ask you to do with your herbs. Questions on knife, the 11 different styles of knife cuts. So you have large dice, medium dice, small dice, Brunoise. What else? Diagonal, Rondelle, Chiffonade, Tournay, Paysan. Did I forget one? Julienne and Bâtonnet. Okay? What I usually do is I give you guys potatoes to practice on, peppers and onions to practice on, and then we make like a breakfast hash. So all the knife cuts after you cut them all, we'll fry them up in a pan and we can make like breakfast hash, because most of the time sometimes you get like, not hash browns, but breakfast potatoes. They try to get them square. If you ever have breakfast potatoes, hash browns are shredded. We'll talk about the breakfast chapter. Questions on knives? How to use the knife? Which hand to hold it in, or which cutting board it goes with? So, not next week. Next week you're going to do a lab, okay? But, well, maybe potentially Friday of next week, a week from today, I'll give you a quiz. Quiz will be on this. It will be on some measurements, and there'll probably be a recipe that you need to convert. And it won't come out evenly. Okay? Questions on anything regarding that? All right, I'm going to go around and check your bell ringers, so please have them out so I can look at them. Thank you.